I'm gonna wake you up early cause I'm gonna take a ride with you.
Electrode removed, polished.
We're going down to the Honda shop, I'll tell you what we're gonna do.
Bits on it. Cleaned off the rings. And what I've done this time is I've fed the wire through from the fuel filler through the drain thing. I've taken off the cap. It's not a cap, tap. Taken off the tap so that the wire can pass through, and now I'm going to electrolyze it from the other side. And it's fairly obvious why I'm doing that. The top part of the tank is the one that has the least contact with the fluid, and there's a good chance that the bit around the filler cap and so on might leak. Now, what I did was I checked the filler cap before I put it in, and I simply used my handy magnet to make sure it was made of iron. It's made of iron, so it's not going to corrode. It's fine. So it's upside down, sitting there holding the stuff in. So we've got everything lined up, and I think what we're going to do this time is switch it on, and hopefully for the last batch, which is really good. So I believe I can get a better focus. Switch it on, and there we go. Straight away we're drawing just under 2 amps. I would expect some kind of foam to build up around there and start coming out. You can see that fairly horrible repair around the tank. I'm going to take that off, and I'm going to replace it with some glass fibre and some resin. Smooth it off. I'll maybe take advice on that actually, over whether what to seal the outer part of the tank, and then the next stage after that is to seal the inside of the tank. And somewhere up here in this bloody mess is the resin I have for that exact purpose, for sealing the tank. Apologies for that, got cut off, ran out of storage space. So when I get to sealing this tank, I'm going to seal the Honda tank as well, which is from a Super 4, as you can see from the side, which I've been working on, but I've been quite negligent about getting round to, and that'll make Gordon happy, because he's got a Super 4 and he wants us to go out and play on them head to head, and currently it's sitting up at the farm with a tarpaulin over it, looking fairly disastrous. Right, so there's a few drips coming from the tank itself, from the filler cap. Not entirely unexpected, because it's the top of the tank. It's not meant to. It's probably got enough space to breathe, and it's probably coming through the breather hole there. Not overly worried about that. It's certainly going to give enough fluid to cover this part of the tank, which is the top, although it's at the bottom, but you know, upside down thing, and that should hopefully clear it up quite nicely. So another run tonight, and that'll be it. If you want to know how I got the cable through from that side to that side, it's actually very simple, and you can send me an email or whatever if you're that interested. So we'll leave that to run. The device, as we mentioned, is up about, yeah, it's just under 2 amps it's drawing, which is lovely. So fantastic, quite pleased with that. By tomorrow night we should have a clean tank, and then we can get on to doing the fancy sealer. Hopefully I'll get a chance to do that quite soon. Alright, speak to you next time. Right, final day, day 4. Or is it day 3? I can't remember. Day 4. And what we're doing is we've had the tank bubbling away overnight, so that should be the final run. I'm going to flip it over, I'm going to empty out the water, I'm going to take out the electrode, hopefully give you a picture of the inside of the tank and a view of the electrode, and then it's on to the pour stuff, which is the tank sealer. I'm going to check to see if this is leaking much around this seal. You see I've taken off the valve and I've chipped away the sealer that was on there. It looks to me like there's been a leak, and it's been from the valve, but what they've been doing is tightening it on ever tighter until they finally ruptured the tank, and that's a fairly horrible seal on there. That's it looks like they've leaded it, soldered it on, and then it's carried on leaking. They've thought it was the solder, but it's fairly clear to me it was the valve. So they slathered it with the automotive repairer, and they've screwed the valve into the automotive repairer in the hopes that they would get some kind of seal, which they've got, but it's started leaking again. It's a fairly horrible fix, and we're going to undo that and bring it back to its former glory. Right, let's get cleaning up. All empty. I've managed to tease the rod out, and as you can see the bottom of the tank, believe it or not, that's not rust. It's a black deposit. Now, because the lid here has been passivated, you can also see this black deposit that builds up. It sometimes happens, and it's a kind of an oxide that builds up and that survives. It's totally inert, and it can be removed using an industrial chemical from a company called the Coca-Cola Corporation, and they produce this fluid which goes by the name of Coke, and it's fairly powerful stuff, and you can put that on that black oxide and it will remove it. Apparently the stuff's quite inert and you can drink it. I wouldn't touch it myself. This is the rod, and so this is the rust that's come out of the tank, and you can see that's pretty. That's just horrid. That's just really nasty. And you see a funny kind of tube-like structure here. I've seen these happen before as well. It's almost organic. It's like you get a circle and then it builds up into a little column, and it's very fragile. But it's just rust. Ghastly rust that's come out of the tank. So all that is the rust from inside the tank that has now come out. So normally I would flush this with some Coke, leave it to sit for an hour or two and do its magic and bring it down to the bare shiny metal, but I don't need to in this case because I'm going to be using the POR tank sealing treatment, which consists of two stages, three stages: a wash, a metal prep, and then the sealer itself. But we're going to get to that after this. This is not for the passivation videos. But the main thing is, that's all the rust, believe it or not, removed from that tank. It should be lovely, and I can feel it inside, and it's nice and smooth, and yeah, it's nice smooth metal. It just needs a damn good clean now to get that stuff off, that black oxide. But it comes off fairly readily. Smells like, actually it smells like the soap they put in. It actually smells not unpleasant. So that's it. That's the tank removed. Each one of these sticks has taken out a good chunk of rust with it, and that's been pretty easy. And that's the kind of finish you can expect. When I did the Honda tank, I got a lovely finish off that. You can't see that here. Let's just lift it out. See if I can show you. The Honda tank, you can see actually down to bare metal, and you can see where the rust had eaten in, and the metal itself is dimpled, but that is just straight metal. There's no rust on that inside that tank, which is pretty damn good. Okay, that's our here endeth the lesson for this week, and we'll get on to the tank sealing bit. I've not done the tank sealing yet myself. I've been advised by an English fella that the POR stuff is an absolute bugger, and sticks like a Scotsman to a £5 note, so he told me. So I'll take his word for that, and I'll be wearing latex gloves when I work with it. Alright, thanks guys, see you later.
I'm gonna wake you up early 'cause I'm